I'll just say Bitcoin for right now, because we did that. We framed it for Bitcoin. Could be for other cryptos as well. We believe that the price will be tenfold of where it is today. So instead of 45,000, over 500,000.
Welcome to Dream Richer. All investors agree that in order for Bitcoin or any crypto to see higher prices, it's crucial for them to first see a major adoption. With one study suggesting 25 million cryptocurrency traders outside the USA and Europe, it seems quite likely there are over 100 million owners of Bitcoins. If true, it means about 1.3% of the world's population owns Bitcoin. Bitcoin holders, such as Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, have oftentimes given hints towards sovereign funds being the first ones to invest into Bitcoin. Nonetheless, as Cathie Wood argues today, the biggest price action of Bitcoin will come from countries' adoption Bitcoin, which is something many investors don't take into consideration when talking about Bitcoin adoption. According to the CEO of global financial giants, Bitcoin will be adopted as legal tender in 3 more countries in 2022. In fact, the CEO was so bullish on Bitcoin that this is what he had to say in one of his tweets. 2 more countries will adopt it as legal tender beside El Salvador. Hence, the cryptocurrency will hit $100,000 this year. If you find the video helpful, then don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Bitcoin. 5 years from now, what's it worth?
If we're right and companies continue to diversify their cash into something like Bitcoin, and institutional investors start allocating 5% of their funds towards, I'll just say Bitcoin for right now, because we did that. We framed it for Bitcoin. Could be for other cryptos as well. We believe that the price will be tenfold of where it is today. So instead of 45,000, over 500,000.
If you could own Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other crypto currency, and you could only own one, which would it be?
That is becoming a harder and harder question to answer. I think I'd default still to Bitcoin, because countries are now deeming it legal tender, and we haven't even put that into our thinking. Ether, however, is seeing an explosion in developer activity thanks to NFTs and DeFi. I'm fascinated with what's going on in DeFi, which is collapsing the cost of the infrastructure for financial services in a way that I know that the traditional financial industry does not appreciate right now. Our confidence in Ether has gone up dramatically as we've seen the beginning of this transition from proof of work to proof of stake. We'd still probably do 60% Bitcoin, 40% Ether.
El Salvador made history in September by becoming the first country in the world to make Bitcoin an official currency alongside the US dollar. Economists argue that the next most likely countries to adopt Bitcoin include Tonga, Turkey, and Bolivia, to name a few. By adopting cryptocurrency as legal tender, these countries then immediately have a currency that isn't influenced by market conditions within their own economy, nor directly from just one other country's economy. Cryptocurrencies could also help bolster financial inclusion for individuals and businesses in developing countries, as they can prevent the biases of traditional banks and other financial services providers. We could also see other countries, such as Panama, Paraguay, Guatemala, and Honduras, also adopt Bitcoin within next couple of years.
Let me give you a bit of a difference. When my children were in high school or and college, I was trying to teach them about the stock market. I was trying to get their interest. Nada. You know, it's almost like crypto had to happen. That got them interested. And to the extent they were looking at our research around crypto and others, they're educating themselves, and they love education. It's one of our mission and values. So, we meant to do that not because we knew this was going to happen, but because we want parents and grandparents and the children themselves to understand how rapidly the world is about to change and to get your children, grandchildren, yourselves on the right side of change, whether it's investing or your education or your career.
Do you think there's a bubble in NFTs?
Well, when I saw this original $69 million piece, I thought, okay, this has gone too far, too fast. We're now talking about the creative world. And when I heard about Async Art, I don't know if you've heard of that company. Async Art has developed a digital ecosystem where artists can put out their digital art, and then anyone can buy pixels,
right,
and change it. And so you can do layers, and the original artist gets paid. I was walking when I heard the CEO tell his story, and my smile went ear to ear because I said, oh man, this is going to be so explosive. This is how I felt when the internet first came about, like, oh man, this could be really big. Remember when everybody said, what's the internet? I had the same feeling here because, creators, they don't get paid for,
right,
every iteration.
It's clear from Cathie Wood's explanation that the journey to $1 million Bitcoin will be very interesting. Over the coming months and years, we will see many political talks about cryptocurrencies being held in the Congress and Senate. More business meetings will be held around the topic. And most importantly, more countries will jump into the market to deem it as legal tender, especially if their currency is devaluing at an alarming rate. For example, just after El Salvador's adoption back in September, Panama announced a bill to make the cryptocurrency legal tender in their country as well. This could create jobs in Panama and lure investment from other nations. This Paraguayan bill will help regulate the trading and mining of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Likewise, the central banks of Honduras and Guatemala are both eyeing digital currencies too. Hence, mass Bitcoin adoption and higher prices are no longer a question of if, but when. To learn more about the latest crypto news, watch these videos here.